Hey, what's up YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer55551, and I am back with a video game review. And for this review, we're going to be taking a look at Rocket League for the Nintendo Switch, also available on PS4, Xbox One, and PC as well. I heard a little bit about Rocket League a while back before the game came out though, and it was sort of an interesting idea, this whole idea of a racing and soccer sort of combined together though. And when the game came out though, it certainly caught a lot of people's attention and has become extremely popular since it has come out and has been released on, PS4, Xbox One, and PC as well. So interestingly enough, last year during Nintendo's E3 showing in 2017, they announced Rocket League for the Nintendo Switch, and it certainly was a surprise to some people though that the popular multiplayer game was coming to the Switch as well, and many people wonder how was it going to run, how well was it going to do. Well, after being out as a digital only copy back in November to now currently released on a physical copy though, I'm happy to say the game surprisingly is still fun though. But obviously it's clear though that in order for the game to run on the Switch, some adjustments had to be made though. So why don't we get started with our pros and cons. So let me get my notes out, and we'll start off with the pro. And as I mentioned earlier, it's bizarre, but the concept and the idea is actually kind of neat though. I mean, the idea of combining a racing game and soccer into one though, or card combat, if you want to say. Yeah, card combat and racing certainly is a weird but very interesting idea though. The fact that you have to you drive your car around and certainly kick the ball or, drive it into the goal and all that stuff. So it's a weird concept, I will admit, but it's also one that works very well. And I do like the fact that this is sort of an original idea, although I hear it's a spiritual successor to another game, but I don't know exactly which one it is. But overall, a bizarre but fun concept and idea. The next one I will say is the online multiplayer mode, and I will say, even though I'm not a huge online multiplayer kind of a person, that's not to say that I haven't took a stab at the online mode every once in a while. And I will say, based on my time with the game on the Switch though, it seems though that the online mode seems to work very well. I was able to get into a couple matches and so on. Took maybe like 1 or 2 minutes, or at least based on my time with it though. I can't speak for everybody though. Some people might have it longer or not, but based on my time with it, the online mode seemed to work just fine, and I do like the idea, and I believe this is for the Switch version as well. I do like the idea of cross-platform, where you could compete against other people, like say who have a PC or an Xbox One, and I would like to see more games use that idea as well. I don't think there's anything wrong with the idea of cross-platforms though, so overall the online works well, at least based on my time with it. The next one I will say is, and this isn't a huge pro, but it is a nice addition that they added, and that is the fact that you could deck your car up into either the Mario Brothers, like with the M or the L for Mario, Luigi, or even the Samus skin as well for your car. And if you use the Mario one, I believe that he'll make the sound that he makes when Mario jumps though. And Samus, I think, has the design of the Samus car looks really neat. I think when you boost, it gives off the sound that the wave beam does. So again, not a huge thing, but it is nice that we have the Mario Brothers and Samus skin as sort of an exclusive for the Switch version. So that's really nice indeed. And last but not least, and I gotta give credit to Panic Button that developed the Switch version though, is the fact that the game does run at a 60 frames per second, regardless of whether you're playing the game docked or undocked. And I really gotta appreciate them, excuse me, keeping the game as steady as they can at 60 frames per second though. Obviously, this is the same development team that did the port of the Switch version of Doom, although it's worth pointing out though that the difference between Rocket League and Doom, in my opinion, is that Doom was more of a graphically demanding game compared to where I don't see Rocket League in the same kind of category as well. But Overall, I am happy that the game runs at a clear 60 frames per second, and that's really nice though, that they're able to keep that regardless if it's docked or undocked. Alright, so we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to the cons though, plus also a recent story that was updated regarding Bayonetta as well, for those who purchased, I think, the physical copy of Bayonetta 2. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of our video review of Rocket League for the Nintendo Switch. This is based off the Switch version, also available on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. So now that I gave you my pros of what I did like, why don't we go get started with the cons though as well. So why don't we get started with that one? And I will say, we'll start off with the first one. As you know, the game does run at a good 60 frames per second, and that certainly is a good thing. However, it's clear that, like with Panic Button did with Doom on the Nintendo Switch, obviously some compromises had to be made. And in this case, one of those is the fact that the game does run at 720p when docked. While it's pretty clear that it's going to run 720p undocked, though docked, however, it does run only at the resolution of 720p. Now, I'm not saying it's necessarily bad. I mean, even at 720p, it still looks good though, and all that stuff. But it certainly isn't the 1080p that many people would have liked though. I did hear that they are possibly working on an update that will change some of the graphics in the game, so we'll have to wait and see if that's true. I believe it is, and when it comes out, but until then though, right now, if you're playing this game, playing Rocket League on the Switch when the system is docked in console mode, the resolution only runs at 720p, which again, not terrible since the game runs at a clear 60 frames per second, but obviously it would have been nice if, when the game came out though, it would have been nice to see the game run at a 1080p when docked. Alright, the next one I would like to point out is there is bit of a learning curve in this game though. I will admit it took me some getting used to it and all that stuff, but eventually once I began to understand at least some of the basics, I started to get a good idea of how the game was played and so on, including doing some of the moves and all that stuff. There is a training mode in the game, so you can learn how to earn all the controls and all that stuff, but I will admit the game does have a little bit of a learning curve, and that might be an issue for some, especially for those who have never played Rocket League before or anything like that. And last but not least though, there's one last but not least, I would like to say though that while I enjoy the fact that the game has, you know, the Mario Brothers and Samus skin, which look kind of neat on the cars as well, I will admit that it would have been nice to see if Nintendo had like Nintendo themed stadiums for the Switch version though. I would have liked to see maybe like a Mushroom Kingdom themed stadium, or as like a Planet Zeb, if I'm saying the name correctly, theme kind of stadium. So it would have been nice to see some of the Samus and Mario Brothers theme like stadiums in the game. That would have been pretty neat if they put that in, and I would be down if they do something like that, or if they added more skins, like maybe like ones based off of Zelda or Kirby, or maybe some of the Zelda or Kirby theme like stadiums. So it would have been nice if they had that in. Maybe they will, maybe at some point down the road, but for right now, the only exclusives, at least skins for the Switch version, only exclusive thing they have for the Switch version are Mario Brothers and Samus skins for your car at this moment. So, but that would have been nice to have it right there. Have those kind of stuff right there. Overall, I have to say, Rocket League is surprisingly a fun game to play though. I'll be honest with you, I'm not a huge multiplayer kind of a person. I still prefer the single player experience though, although you can play this game offline as well though. But I will say that I like the idea of what they did with this game. I like the whole concept of the driving with the soccer though. It's kind of like that miscellaneous racing game, miscellaneous games in general, like what Mario Kart is in a certain way though. But the idea is just really interesting and very neat though. It's strange, but it's also really neat. The whole driving with mixing with soccer as well. So it's a very fun and interesting concept. Excuse me. And it can also be very addictive as well. So overall, if you're waiting to get, if you haven't picked up Rocket League yet for the Switch though, it's worth trying out though. I think it really boils down to which version should you get though. And the thing is that if the Switch is your main console, then it's worth trying out though. Rocket League is definitely a fun game on the Nintendo Switch. If you have it on other systems as well, like PC or Xbox One or PS4, unless the Mario Brothers Samus skins are your thing though, and unless you are okay with the fact that the resolution is going to be at 720p though, then I can't see you picking the Switch version up if you already have other versions as well. If the Switch is your main console, like I said, then yeah, it's worth trying out. So overall, Rocket League is a fun game. Would recommend it if the Switch version is your main version though. Alright, before I end this video, I do want to point out that regarding the issues with Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2, apparently there's been some reports coming out that some people who have already purchased Bayonetta 2, at least a physical copy, have been running into some issues regarding the codes for Bayonetta 1, though that's been reported now on some of the reviews for Amazon. Some of the people are giving it 1 stars. 2 recent reports that came out. I believe I read on My Nintendo. I'll have a link in the description. But apparently it says that Nintendo is fully aware of it and they'll have information on how to address that. So it sounds like, based on at least what the information's been coming out, is that it seems to be that the wrong code may have been put on there by mistake. So I'll look up the information. If it's there, it's worth checking out for those who picked up a copy of Bayonetta as well. So far, I haven't run into that issue, but nevertheless, if you are someone who has a physical copy of Bayonetta 2, it is something worth taking a look at to make sure your code for Bayonetta 1 works. If not, it's worth, I'll have a link in the description. You could check it out and see if you have like have the wrong code. I'll have a link there. You could go there and see if you could get the right code or something like that. Okay, this concludes this review of Rocket League from the Nintendo Switch. And again, these are my opinion, but what are yours? Have you picked up Rocket League yet? Have you enjoyed the game? Have you not enjoyed the game? Is it the kind of game that interests you in any way? It's the Switch version. Have you picked up the Switch version? Is that the version you're going with? Or you rather go with like the PS4, Xbox One, or PC? Or if you're happy with those versions though. Do you agree with what I said in this review? Do you disagree? Do you have a difference of opinion? As always, sound off on the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And I hope you hit that like button. I would appreciate it. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to. And also feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You could do it through PayPal me or Patreon. Links in the description here. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that will be soon. Until then, from Southern California, I wish you all a good day then. Bye!